within. The grandfather clock at the masquerade ball, they dance and fade, face a shift in a hollow charade. A voice alone begins to call from the depths of nowhere. Down through the marsh where lost souls wait, past the castle, cold and pale, in the chapel, candles die, prayers dissolve, the spirits cry.
The dark. In a world shrouded in perpetual twilight, where the sun had become a distant memory, lived a young woman named Isabella. A haunting darkness, a malevolent force, crept over the earth like an insidious fog, leaving desolation in its wake. Isabella, perceptive to the encroaching doom, became an unwilling witness to the relentless advance of the creeping shadows. The first signs of the encroaching darkness manifested as an unnatural chill that hung in the air. Isabella, her senses heightened by an impending dread, felt the ominous shift in the atmosphere. The once vibrant landscapes now lay under a shadowy veil, the colours muted into a monochromatic palette of despair. As the creeping darkness advanced, swallowing everything in its inky embrace, Isabella became a reluctant nomad, a lone figure navigating the desolate landscape. The once thriving cities now stood as silent monuments to a world lost to the relentless night. Isabella, haunted by the memories of a time when warmth and light were constants, journeyed on, her every step echoing through the emptiness that surrounded her. The creeping darkness seemed to feed on the remnants of hope, extinguishing the feeble flickers that clung to the hearts of those it consumed. In her quest for sanctuary, Isabella encountered the remnants of humanity, stray souls wandering in the abyss, their eyes hollow and haunted. The creeping darkness spared no one, absorbing the essence of life and leaving behind a hollow shell of what once was. The young woman pressed on, the relentless shadows gaining ground with each passing day. She sought refuge in forgotten corners of the world, but even the most secluded places fell prey to the insatiable hunger of the encroaching doom. Isabella's steps left a trail of footprints in the ash-grey landscape, a fleeting testimony to her futile resistance against the impending oblivion. The creeping darkness, like an ever-hungry predator, adapted to Isabella's movements, enveloping the world in an unyielding night that knew no dawn. The skies became an abyss, devoid of stars and moon, a canvas painted with the echoes of a world consumed by shadows. Isabella, her spirit dimming with each passing day, felt the darkness closing in. The once vibrant soul within her now seemed like a fragile flame flickering in the face of an inevitable tempest. She wandered through the desolation, a solitary figure swallowed by the unrelenting night. As the creeping darkness claimed the final vestiges of the world, Isabella stood on the precipice of oblivion. The once vivid memories of life now faded into the void, and she became one with the shadows that engulfed everything. In the silence that followed, the world, now swallowed by the perpetual night, became a desolate realm, a chilling reminder of the unstoppable force that had extinguished the light and left nothing but the echoes of a once thriving existence. the midnight sky. In the quiet town of Watersville, where shadows clung to the corners of forgotten streets, lived a young woman named Evelyn. One fateful night, the clock struck midnight, and as Evelyn gazed out of her window, the sky began to unravel in a surreal display. The moon cast an eerie glow on the landscape as the heavens above seemed to liquefy, like molten candle wax slowly dripping down into the abyss. Evelyn, paralysed by a mixture of awe and terror, watched as the once starry expanse twisted and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that defied the laws of nature. As the celestial wax cascaded toward the earth, a foreboding chill crept into the air. Evelyn's heart quickened with each approaching droplet, and the ominous landscape outside her window was soon bathed in an otherworldly glow. The once familiar town now appeared as a distorted dreamscape, a realm where reality itself was melting away. Panicked, Evelyn stumbled back from the window, the dripping sky now inches from the ground. She could feel the heat emanating from the molten celestial substance, and the air itself seemed to vibrate with an unnatural energy. The streets below were quickly becoming submerged in the otherworldly cascade, creating a twisted tapestry of melting reality. Desperation clawed at Evelyn's chest as she frantically searched for a place of safety. The usual refuge of her home now felt like a fragile shell, unable to protect her from the encroaching nightmare outside. The once familiar became a labyrinth of shifting shadows and contorted shapes, and Evelyn felt the boundaries between sanity and madness erode with each passing moment. She stumbled through the streets, the ground beneath her feet becoming increasingly unstable. The melting sky, now a relentless deluge, hissed and crackled as it devoured everything in its path. Despair settled over Evelyn like a suffocating shroud, and her cries for help were swallowed by the cacophony of the cosmic dissolution. In her futile search for refuge, Evelyn found herself drawn to the town square, where an ancient monument stood as a silent witness to the unfolding cataclysm. As the melting sky reached its crescendo, Evelyn stood alone in the centre of the square, surrounded by the nightmarish cascade. The final droplets fell, and the world around Evelyn twisted into a surreal tableau of chaos. The once sturdy monument crumbled into fragments, and the town of Watersville dissolved into the amorphous remnants of a reality undone. Evelyn, consumed by the spectral cascade, became a mere silhouette against the backdrop of a cosmic tragedy, a lone figure lost in the void of a world melting away. Creature up in the attic. In the heart of a quiet town, there stood an old house with weathered walls that whispered tales of times long past. Inhabiting this place of memories untold was a young woman named Emily. Possessing a spirit as bold as the shadows that clung to the corners, she made it her mission to explore every nook and cranny of the mysterious dwelling. One day, driven by a curious impulse, Emily ascended to the attic, a realm untouched by the passage of time. There, amidst forgotten relics and dusty trinkets, she stumbled upon an extraordinary discovery, an amphibian of peculiar proportions. Its slimy green skin shimmered in the dim light, and its big round eyes seemed to convey a mischievous grin. This strange creature became the object of her fascination. With webbed feet that left moist prints behind, it hopped and croaked in a language that felt not of this world. As the days passed, Emily found herself captivated by the uncanny companion that had found solace in the attic's forgotten solitude. In her attempts to capture the creature, Emily discovered the elusiveness of its nature. The amphibian danced away with an agility that defied the laws of physics, leaving her both frustrated and amused. Yet, as the creature continued its playful antics, an imperceptible change crept into the air, casting a subtle shadow over Emily's once bold heart. Strange occurrences unfolded within the confines of the old house. Emily's thoughts began to blur, and a mysterious pull emanated from the creature, its green presence seeping into the fabric of her consciousness. Day by day, her reality became a hazy screen, and the once vibrant young woman found herself ensnared in a subtle enchantment. It wasn't until the realization dawned upon her, too late to sound a warning, that Emily understood the true nature of her unearthly companion. The creature, with its slimy charm and beguiling demeanour, served as a gateway to a realm beyond comprehension, a gateway to hell itself. As the creature vanished as abruptly as it had arrived, Emily became an echo of a person once whole. The old house, now tainted with a story that transcended the boundaries of the living, held within its walls the remnants of a tale foretold. Emily, with her heart so bold, became a part of the house's enigmatic history, a cautionary whisper in the winds that stirred the memories untold. The old dwelling, once a haven for secrets, now bore witness to a story that echoed through its time-worn corridors. A story of a young woman ensnared by the allure of the uncanny, forever lost to the grasp of the creature from the shadows. The doppelganger. In the heart of a small, ancient town stood a quaint antique shop named Whispers of Time, owned by a mysterious and elderly woman named Eleonora. The shop itself was adorned with dusty relics, each telling tales of a bygone era. The young woman who worked there, named Amelia, had an affinity for the vintage and the obscure, and she spent her days cataloguing the artifacts that had found their way into Eleonora's possession. Eleonora, a keeper of secrets and legends, had a penchant for weaving tales of supernatural occurrences that unfolded within the town's fog-shrouded streets. The legends spoke of doppelgangers and creatures of the night, emphasizing the macabre exchange that could transpire if a person were to encounter their own mirror image. Amelia listened to these stories with a half-smile, dismissing them as the products of an overactive imagination. Little did she know that the veil between reality and myth was thinner than she could fathom. One evening, as Amelia walked home after closing the antique shop, the town was cloaked in a dense fog that obscured the cobbled streets and twisted alleys. Shadows danced with eerie grace, playing tricks on her tired mind. In the dim light, she felt an inexplicable presence, as if unseen eyes were watching her every move. Turning around, she saw nothing but the misty tendrils of fog. A chill ran down her spine, and she quickened her pace. Glancing over her shoulder, she caught a glimpse of movement in the corner of her eye. She turned sharply, and for a moment, she saw her own reflection peeking out from an alley, a perfect replica of herself, with hollow eyes that seemed to hold secrets she dare not comprehend. Rationalizing the encounter as mere exhaustion, Amelia shook off the disconcerting feeling and continued her journey home. The next day at work, however, she couldn't shake the sensation that she was being observed. In the dimly lit corners of the antique shop, she caught fleeting glimpses of her doppelganger. The replica mimicked her movements, but its eyes held a malevolent glint that sent shivers down her spine. Growing increasingly disturbed, Amelia confided in Eleonora, who, with a knowing look, spoke of ancient curses and the inevitability of meeting one's double. Despite the warnings, Amelia pushed aside the unease, believing she could outwit the supernatural forces that seemed to be closing in around her. Days turned into nights, and the encounters with her doppelganger became more frequent. The town's fog seemed to cling to her like a sinister accomplice, enveloping her in an oppressive atmosphere. Amelia's reflection, once a harmless mirage, now seemed to yearn for something beyond her comprehension. One fateful evening, in the dim alley where the doppelganger had first appeared, the two identical figures met, The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as the doppelganger, no longer a mere reflection, stepped forward. Their eyes locked, and an ancient force took hold. Amelia felt herself being pulled into a vortex of darkness, her essence merging with the malevolent double. The town whispered its lament as the young woman ceased to exist. In her place stood the doppelganger, wearing her form like a sinister mask. Eleonora, the keeper of secrets, gazed sadly at the empty space where Amelia once stood. Legends had foretold the tragedy that now unfolded. The fog thickened, swallowing the macabre exchange that had transpired, leaving only the echoes of a young woman lost to the supernatural forces that lurked in the shadows of the ancient town. The grandfather clock. Within the expansive embrace of a majestic Victorian mansion, its imposing stature touching the sky, lived a young and curious woman with an insatiable appetite for exploration. Her ventures through the intricate corridors sought out the hidden stories the grand estate held, shrouded in the mysteries of time. One fateful day, her meandering footsteps led her to an obscure corner where an ancient grandfather clock stood sentinel. Its time-worn facade bore witness to the ages, and as the girl approached, the rhythmic ticking seemed to echo the heartbeat of the mansion. Enveloped in an invisible pull, she became captivated by the aged timepiece, as if a cosmic force beckoned her to unravel its secrets. The clock, not merely a relic, but a portal to other dimensions, spoke with a voice that transcended the boundaries of time. Its gears and chimes wove tales of love, loss, and the unknown, but as the girl engaged in conversation, the clock revealed a power beyond her comprehension. It was not just a storyteller, but a time-shifting conduit, where the past and future intertwined in a mesmerizing dance. Entranced by the tales and the enchantment of the clock, the girl found herself ensnared in the temporal shifts that unfolded within the mansion's walls. The hands of the clock, guided by an unseen force, propelled her through different epochs, each step carrying her deeper into the corridors of history. As she traversed the ever-shifting temporal currents, the girl experienced moments frozen in time and glimpses into futures yet to unfold. The mansion, once a static monument, became a living testament to the ebb and flow of time, and the girl, caught in the currents, sought to comprehend the stories that transcended the boundaries of past, present, and future. With each temporal shift, the girl's understanding deepened. She bore witness to the mansion's storied history, its residents and their fates intertwined with the fabric of time. The grand Victorian estate, once a silent spectator, now pulsed with the echoes of moments suspended in the chronicles of the ages. In the end, the young woman emerged from the temporal tapestry, her journey through the shifting corridors of time etched into her very essence. The grandfather clock, a guardian and guide through the temporal maelstrom, stood as a silent witness to her courage. The mansion, forever marked by the girl's odyssey, became a living testament to the interplay between time and the indomitable spirit of exploration. As she stepped away from the grand Victorian abode, the girl carried with her not just the weight of the clock's revelations, but the profound understanding that time, like the mansion itself, is a tapestry woven with the threads of stories waiting to be unveiled. The echoes of her journey lingered within the walls, a testament to the enduring dance between the girl and the ancient timepiece that had transported her through the corridors of time. The Masquerade Ball. In a quaint town with cobblestone streets echoing with ancient tales, a young woman, draped in an exquisite gown, embarked on a mysterious journey to the renowned Masquerade Ball. The allure of secrets veiled behind masks beckoned her to the opulent event, where anonymity reigned supreme. Stepping into the grand hall, she marvelled at the splendour of the masquerade. Each guest concealed behind their masks, the air pulsating with a sense of intrigue. The young woman, too, wore a mask, blending seamlessly into the elaborate dance of shadows. As the night unfolded, a subtle disquiet gripped the atmosphere. Whispers floated through the air, and shadows danced with an intriguing grace. A mysterious figure emerged, adding an air of suspense to the festivities. The guests, hidden behind their masks, displayed peculiar behaviours, leaving the young woman with an uncanny sense that beneath the facade, a clandestine truth lurked. In a moment of revelation, she uncovered a cryptic note discreetly placed within a secluded alcove during the masquerade ball. The message warned of imminent peril, compelling her to take swift action. Fueled by an overwhelming sense of fear, she felt compelled to explore the mysterious event in search of refuge. The urgency to find safety became her paramount goal as she navigated through winding corridors. Uncertainty threatened to overwhelm her, until, unexpectedly, a hidden door materialized. The girl went inside the hidden room behind the door and hid until she felt a sense of safety enveloping her, a secret refuge within the heart of the masquerade ball. As the night gradually waned, the young woman cautiously emerged from the concealed chamber, uncertainty clouding her anticipation of what lay beyond. To her surprise, an unforeseen twist awaited. The masks, once a veil of secrecy, refused to detach from the guests. Panic and confusion ensued as the revellers grappled with their permanent disguises. The once joyous atmosphere now echoed with anxious murmurs and frantic attempts to unveil the faces trapped behind the enigmatic masks. The town, oblivious to the masked predicament, continued its existence. Only the young woman, her mask free from the ethereal attachment, left the masquerade with a mix of relief and perplexity. The once elusive anonymity of the masquerade had transformed into an enduring mystery, as the guests remained forever shrouded behind their masks, a haunting reminder of the secrets concealed within the grandeur of the ball. The mystery figure. Amidst the quiet streets of a town cloaked in shadows, a young woman found herself inexplicably drawn to a figure moving gracefully through the night. The mysterious figure, veiled in an aura of mystery, seemed to beckon the observer into a clandestine journey. A compelling intuition urged the young woman to follow, sensing that this encounter held a significance beyond the ordinary. As she pursued the mystery figure through meandering alleys and dimly lit passages, the urgency of the quest intensified. The movements of her counterpart hinted at a destination concealed in secrecy. The young woman, resolute in her pursuit of understanding, quickened her pace, feeling the anticipation surge with each step. Yet, within the unfolding narrative of this nocturnal chase, a shift occurred. A subtle awareness settled over the young woman, a realization that she had become both the observer and the observed. The shared recognition between pursuer and pursued added an extra layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. The culmination of the nocturnal pursuit unfolded as the mystery figure vanished behind a door adorned with a carved wooden rose. Undeterred, the young woman pressed forward, only to find the entrance securely sealed. Locked away, the mystery figure eluded her captivated pursuer. Determination ignited within the young woman as she sought the key to unlock the door. Upon finally discovering the key, she unlocked the door and stepped into the unknown. As she delved into the concealed recesses of the dimly lit rooms, a sense of impending destiny loomed. The mystery she pursued became a delicate tapestry of warnings and revelations, each discovery urging her to navigate the delicate dance between curiosity and caution. After an exhaustive search, the young woman finally laid eyes on the mysterious figure. As she observed the figure, a profound realization washed over her. What she had been fervently pursuing was not an external force, but a projection of her own future self. the once elusive mystery figure now stood before her as a temporal messenger, urging her to deviate from the path her future self had taken. In a profound encounter within the shadowed room, the figure representing her future self unfolded the intricate narrative of necessity behind choosing a different path. As the room's dim light flickered, the gravity of the situation became apparent. Her future self elucidated on the interconnected threads of fate, revealing that the consequences of maintaining the current trajectory transcended her personal journey. They extended to the fate of the entire world. With a sense of urgency, the young woman absorbed the revelation that the invention she had created held the potential for dire ramifications if the course of her life remained unchanged. Each detail of the invention's intricacies and the ripple effects it could unleash were laid bare before her. The air in the room seemed charged with the weight of responsibility as she grasped the magnitude of her actions. The looming consequences were not just abstract threats, but tangible disruptions that could reshape the fabric of existence. The future self implored her to consider the broader implications, emphasizing the delicate balance between individual choices and the collective destiny of humanity. Leaving the room, the young woman carried not only the burden of personal transformation, but also the awareness that her decisions held the power to safeguard or imperil the world. The obscurity of the night enveloped her, echoing the complexity of the choices she now faced, as she ventured forth with a newfound understanding of the intricate web of causality woven by her own hands. The Star. In the quiet town of Millbridge, nestled between rolling hills and dense woods, a young woman named Lucy experienced a night that would forever alter the fabric of her reality. It was an ordinary evening until Lucy noticed a peculiar star shining brighter than the rest. As her eyes fixated on the celestial glow, the star descended from the sky, beckoning her with a radiant allure. Intrigued and fearless, Lucy chased the falling star through the shadowed streets of Millbridge. The once familiar houses became obscured by the shimmering brilliance that led her to an old dirt road at the town's edge. The star, now hovering just ahead, guided her steps into the quiet darkness. The dirt road wound through the woods, the only sounds the crunch of Lucy's footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves in the night breeze. The star remained her guide, casting a glow upon the path ahead. Soon, they reached the entrance of a cavern, its mouth yawning open like an ancient gateway. As Lucy and the star entered the cave, the air shifted, charged with a magical energy that tingled on her skin. The cavern, bathed in the star's gentle radiance, revealed a surreal landscape within. Stalactites glistened like crystal icicles, and phosphorescent fungi illuminated the ground in an enchanting display. Unbeknownst to Lucy, the entrance sealed itself behind her, shutting out the world she knew. Within the mystical embrace of the cave, safety cocooned her alongside the luminous star. Together, they witnessed the transformation unfold, observing in awe and horror as the mundane town of Millbridge vanished into the folds of oblivion, leaving behind nothing but the lingering echoes of distant memories. The entire world had been obliterated by a nuclear bomb, leaving behind a haunting tableau of destruction. The star now led Lucy through a hidden tunnel within the cavern. As they traversed the passage, the walls seemed to ripple with the fabric of time itself. Emerging on the other side, Lucy found herself in a different time. The star, having fulfilled its mysterious role, gently guided her to a glistening door, standing alone in the vast expanse. With a silent understanding, Lucy approached the doorway, the star's glow intensifying as if inviting her to step through. As she crossed the threshold, the door closed behind her, and the world she left dissolved into the folds of time, leaving her in a new realm where the very essence of history seemed to pulse with the secrets waiting to be discovered. The Marsh. In the small town of Eldritch, embraced by the mysterious expanse of marshlands, resided a young woman named Lily. Her abode was an imposing figure on the outskirts, a grand old mansion that commanded attention against the eerie backdrop. This 4-story architectural gem, once majestic in its prime, stood tall with a captivating white facade, adorned with turrets that reached for the sky. A wraparound front porch, weathered but still retaining an air of grace, encircled the front of the mansion. The large wooden front door, bearing the marks of time, opened into a realm of faded grandeur. On recent nights, as Lily gazed out from her bedroom window within the grand mansion, she believed she could hear a haunting voice emerging from the murky waters surrounding the estate. Initially, she dismissed it as a creation of her imagination, attributing the mysterious sound to the solitude of the lonely nights in the eerie silence of the marsh. As the days went by, the voice persisted, growing more insistent, whispering cryptic warnings and fragmented messages that danced on the edge of her consciousness. On a fateful evening, unable to resist the mysterious allure any longer, Lily donned a faded dress and ventured into the marshland. The squelching of mud beneath her bare feet resonated with her apprehension, creating an eerie symphony that echoed as she delved deeper into the unknown. The moon, a silent witness to her exploration, cast a haunting glow upon the scene, revealing the contorted branches that created long, dancing shadows seemingly alive with secrets. A distant voice served as her guide, compelling Lily further into the marsh. Winding paths unfolded before her, their configurations shifting with each hesitant step, creating an ever-changing labyrinth. As the voice gained clarity, Lily's heart echoed its accelerated rhythm, resonating with both fear and fascination. The journey through the twisting paths led Lily to a secluded clearing, embraced by whispering reeds that swayed with the secrets of the marsh. In the subtle glow of the dim light, a figure emerged from the shadows, initially veiled in mystery. As the mist dispersed, the silhouette became clear. A child, a little girl. With a gentle presence, she extended her hand, guiding Lily toward an old watermill. As Lily and the little girl navigated the intricate passages of the watermill, they eventually arrived at a scene. 10 small children, all little girls in tattered dresses with long flowing hair, warmly greeted them. Their beauty was enchanting, casting a captivating aura that added an air of wonder to the surroundings. In her attempts to communicate with these children, Lily soon realized that instead of conventional words, they exchanged thoughts, creating a silent but profound connection. It was then revealed that these children were survivors from a spaceship that had tragically crashed in the marsh. Left to navigate the challenges alone, they had ingeniously carved out a concealed sanctuary within the depths of the watermill. As Lily delved deeper into their world, she unravelled an extraordinary truth. These children possessed special and amazing powers, each little girl showcasing abilities that surpassed the ordinary. Some displayed a remarkable command over nature, conjuring small wonders with a mere thought. Among these marvels were the sudden appearance of a delicate rose, a scurrying mouse, and an old train car. However, one of the girls surpassed them all by conjuring the grand and imposing Statue of Liberty. Its majestic presence filled the cave, adding an awe-inspiring dimension to the enchanting abilities of these extraordinary children. Others demonstrated the ability to manipulate time itself, bending its flow to their will. These time-manipulating abilities allowed them to witness moments unfold in reverse or accelerate events at their command. Meanwhile, a few possessed the uncanny ability to disappear and reappear at will, effortlessly traversing the fabric of reality as if stepping between dimensions. Additionally, some girls were gifted with the power to heal. The watermill, once a forgotten relic, now served as a refuge for these extraordinary beings, and Lily found herself entangled in a narrative that intertwined the supernatural with the ordinary, forever changing the course of her destiny. The castle. In the creaking halls of the old mansion, Selina lay nestled in her attic bedroom. The night held an eerie stillness, broken only by the distant hoots of an owl. As Selina succumbed to the embrace of sleep, her dreams took on a life of their own. In the realm of her dreams, the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred. The floral wallpaper of her attic bedroom began to peel away, revealing stone walls covered with ivy. Moonlight streamed through a casement window that hadn't been there before. As Selina lay wrapped in the cocoon of sleep, a subtle shift trembled through her subconscious. A soft, melodic whisper wove through the threads of her dreams, gently beckoning her awake. The rustle of leaves outside her window transformed into a soothing lullaby, nudging her from the depths of slumber. The world around her pulsed with a surreal energy, and with each passing heartbeat, the attic room seemed to pulse in harmony with the cadence of her dreams. It was as if the very essence of the dreamland seeped into the waking world, bridging the delicate gap between realms. In the hushed embrace of the dream, Selina's senses tingled. Drawn by an invisible force, she reluctantly parted from her slumber, her eyes adjusting to the dim glow that enveloped the attic. Clad in her pink nightgown, she hesitated for a moment, sensing the palpable energy that clung to the air. With cautious steps, she extended her trembling hand toward the walls, where the floral patterns of her wallpaper had given way to cool, textured stone. As her fingertips grazed the surface, a gentle vibration coursed through her, a silent symphony of the dreamland resonating with the waking world. Selina marveled at the seamless blend of reality and fantasy, her room transformed into a gateway between the two. Emboldened by the enchantment, she walked across the room, where the dream and reality intermingled. The trees that had seemingly sprouted within the confines of her attic whispered secrets as her fingers trailed along their branches. Each touch yielded a response, a murmur, a rustle, as if the very essence of the dream embraced her in a tender dance. In her hesitant exploration, Selina discovered that the boundaries of her world had become porous, allowing the magic of the dreamland to seep through. The pulse of her heart echoed the rhythm of the enchanted room, and with newfound courage, she stepped closer to the open casement. Beyond the window, the sprawling hill crowned with a magnificent castle beckoned, its silhouette etched against the moonlit sky. Undeterred by the surrealism, Selina descended from her attic sanctuary, the mansion's wooden stairs groaning beneath her bare feet. The cold touch of the banister seemed almost tangible in this dream-turned reality. As she reached the front door, it swung open with a ghostly creak. The night outside embraced her, and Selina, a mere silhouette in the moonlight, began the ascent toward the castle on the hill. Each step echoed in the quiet landscape as she approached the towering structure, its spires reaching toward the star-studded sky. Yet just as she neared the castle gates, a shadow fell upon the dreamlike land. A colossal figure emerged, a giant, its steps like distant thunder. Panic seized Selina as she darted behind a bush, her heart pounding in the silence. The giant, oblivious to her presence, ambled past, shaking the very ground beneath her trembling form. Once the giant disappeared into the shadows, Selina cautiously approached the castle's entrance. She reached out to the ornate door, her hand trembling as it touched the cool metal. Just as the castle's interior beckoned with untold secrets, a strange sensation gripped Selina. The surroundings wavered, reality and dream intermingling, and the grand castle began to crumble. In a flash, The grandeur of the dream dissolved into the familiar contours of her attic bedroom. Selina stood bewildered, her pink nightgown a stark contrast to the remnants of the fantastical world that clung to the edges of her room. As dawn painted the sky, Selina found herself back in her bed, questioning the thin veil between dreams and reality. Yet, something lingered, an echo of the enchanted land, a residue of wonder that defied explanation. The mansion, with its aging facade, seemed different now, holding secrets that resonated in the walls. Selina, forever changed by that mysterious night, realized that some dreams, once awakened, leave traces that can't be erased. And as she lay in her attic sanctuary, the whispers of the castle echo in her dreams, promising adventures yet to unfold. The abandoned farmhouse. In the heart of nowhere, amid desolate landscapes, an abandoned farmhouse stood, casting a looming shadow over the land. Locals spoke in hushed tones of its haunted history, warning all who listened to steer clear, for it was rumoured that those who dared to enter never returned. Yet curiosity gripped Emma, a young woman drawn to the mysterious dwelling. Ignoring ominous whispers, she approached the decaying structure. The air was thick with unsettling silence, interrupted only by the creaking of worn doors. Undeterred, Emma ventured inside, senses on high alert. Cobwebs clung to corners, dust covered surfaces, and the interior painted a haunting tableau of neglect. Driven by an unrelenting curiosity, Emma pressed on. The floorboards groaned beneath her, and the atmosphere thickened with each step. The farmhouse, once a haven, echoed with an eerie presence. Amid her exploration, Emma stumbled upon an aged journal tucked away in a forgotten corner. Its words revealed a chilling tale of a vengeful spirit lingering within the decaying walls. Fearful and attempting to leave, Emma found the doors of the farmhouse locked, trapping her within the malevolent embrace of the haunted abode. Realizing the gravity of her situation, she sprinted through winding corridors, desperately seeking escape. The oppressive presence tightened its hold, but she did not stop until a sliver of light revealed an exit. Gasping for breath, Emma emerged into the cold moonlit night, leaving the haunted house behind. Understanding that some stories are better left buried, Emma walked away. The abandoned farmhouse, with its dark secrets, faded into the distance, and she never approached it again. The whispers of the locals became distant echoes, and Emma carried the weight of the farmhouse's haunting tale as a cautionary memory, forever etched in the recesses of her mind. The chapel. On the outskirts of a forgotten village, shrouded in mist and whispered legends, stood an ancient church with a tall steeple that reached toward the heavens. One moonlit night, the air heavy with the weight of forgotten memories, a young woman named Priya found herself drawn to the haunting melody of a piano emanating from the desolate chapel. The village had long abandoned the church, deeming it cursed, but Priya, fueled by an insatiable curiosity, approached the decaying structure. The moon cast an eerie glow on the weathered stones as Priya pushed open the creaking door, revealing a dilapidated interior frozen in time. The haunting piano melody echoed through the cavernous space, resonating with a melancholic beauty that sent shivers down Priya's spine. As she stepped further inside, the air grew thick with a glowing energy, and shadows seemed to dance in rhythm to the eerie notes. At the far end of the nave, bathed in an otherworldly light, sat a grand piano, its keys played by a ghostly figure. The man, adorned in black garments, seemed oblivious to Priya's presence. His fingers danced gracefully over the keys, conjuring a melody that transcended the boundaries of the living. As the haunting tune filled the air, the ground beneath Priya trembled, and from the time-worn wooden floor, ghostly figures began to emerge. Apparitions draped in tattered garments ascended from the depths like wraiths summoned by the haunting melody. Priya, rooted to the spot, watched in silent horror as the ghostly procession twirled and spiraled around the pianist. Their faces bore expressions of longing and sorrow, and their spectral forms moved with a grace that defied the laws of the living. The steeple above the church seemed to stretch higher into the night sky, as if reaching for the very fabric of the afterlife. The air grew colder, and a mournful wind whispered through the cracked windows, carrying with it the echoes of forgotten souls. As the piano piece reached its crescendo, the ghostly figures ascended with newfound fervour, their movements becoming more frenetic and desperate. The man at the piano played with an intensity that mirrored the anguish of the spirits rising from the ground. In the midst of this spectral ballet, Priya stood at the back of the church, an unwilling witness to a macabre symphony of the afterlife. The air pulsed with a foggy green glow, and the ancient stones of the church seemed to absorb the sorrowful echoes of the ghostly dance. And then, as the final notes lingered in the air, the ghostly figures, having completed their haunting waltz, dissipated like mist, returning to the shadows from whence they came. The pianist, his hands still poised above the keys, turned to Priya, his eyes hollow pools of darkness. A cold wind swept through the church, extinguishing the dim candles that flickered in forgotten corners. Priya, shaken to her core, stumbled backward, leaving the abandoned chapel with the haunting melody etched into her soul. An unwelcome souvenir from the realm between the living and the dead. The Clock Tower. In the small, forgotten town of Havenridge, where time seemed to linger in the shadows, a chilling event unfolded one fateful night. Ava, a young woman with blonde hair and an unsettling gaze, found herself ensnared in a haunting mystery that would shroud the town in an eerie silence. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Havenridge succumbed to an unnatural hush. The townsfolk, unsuspecting victims of a supernatural force, drifted into an irresistible slumber, their peaceful faces bathed in the dimming twilight. Ava, an insomniac by nature, felt an eerie compulsion to explore the deserted streets, her senses heightened by the weight of solitude pressing on her shoulders. She wandered through the silent alleys, where the desolation seemed to stretch as far as the eye could see. Street lamps cast long, distorted shadows that seemed to whisper secrets. The night air, once filled with the hum of life, now bore a palpable and unsettling stillness, leaving Ava to navigate the haunting quiet that enveloped every corner of the town. Ava, the lone wanderer in a town held captive by a spectral sleep, felt an unshakable presence in the air. As she roamed the deserted streets, a lullaby, soft and haunting, seemed to echo through the vacant alleys and around the corners of once vibrant buildings. The melody, carried by an unseen breeze, wrapped itself around Ava like a ghostly embrace, its notes weaving a tale of forgotten whispers. Unsettled, Ava reached the town square, where an ancient clock tower stood tall. Its hands frozen in time, the tower seemed to mock the very essence of Havenridge. As the final notes of the haunting lullaby reverberated through the air, Ava too succumbed to an irresistible drowsiness. She collapsed in the heart of the town square, the last to fall into the embrace of an unnatural sleep. The moon cast a silvery glow over the dormant town, as if mourning the life that had been stolen from its nocturnal streets. Havenridge became a ghost town, its inhabitants trapped in a perpetual dreamland. Within the ethereal confines of the dream realm, the townsfolk found themselves ensnared in the clutches of a collective nightmare. In the silent corridors of their slumbering minds, elusive shadows pirouetted, weaving a tapestry of disquiet. The very essence of the town resonated with an ominous energy, as if the fabric of reality itself throbbed with malevolence. Yet, amidst this spectral domain, the dreamers remained blissfully ignorant of their shared ordeal. Ensnared in the intricacies of a subconscious ballet, they were unwitting participants in a macabre performance orchestrated by forces that eluded comprehension. Each dreamer, cocooned in their own nightmarish visions, contributed to the symphony of the town's collective unconscious, a discordant harmony of fears and anxieties. And so, the story of Havenridge unfolded in a perpetual twilight, where the boundary between reality and the ethereal blurred into an indistinct realm of shared dreams. The clock tower, its hands poised in a timeless stance, became a silent watcher over the town, marking the passage of moments that remained eternally suspended in the tapestry of an unending sleep. The haunting melody. In the dimly lit corners of an antique shop, nestled among forgotten treasures, a young composer named Anna stumbled upon a weathered manuscript that seemed to call out to her. As she unfolded the delicate pages, the notes on the sheet music whispered promises of emotions untold. Anna, driven by a creative thirst, decided to bring the mysterious composition to life. With each stroke of her bow, the haunting melody filled the room, weaving through the air like tendrils of an ancient spell. Little did she know, the music held a power beyond her comprehension. As the first notes echoed in the chamber, Anna felt a surge of emotions coursing through her. The composition seemed to tap into the deepest recesses of her soul, evoking a symphony of feelings that ranged from euphoria to despair. Overwhelmed by the intensity, she realized that the sheet music had an uncanny ability to manipulate emotions. Driven by both curiosity and a hint of trepidation, Anna decided to share her discovery with the world. She arranged a small private performance in an intimate venue, inviting a select audience to experience the enchanting piece. The emotions elicited were palpable, as joy, sorrow, and fear danced through the room like spectral apparitions. As Anna continued to perform the captivating composition, she began to notice the eerie influence the music exerted on her audience. The emotions evoked were becoming more extreme, pushing people to the brink of madness. Haunting nightmares plagued her sleep, and the once beautiful melody now echoed with a dissonant, malevolent undertone. Suspicion gnawed at Anna's mind, prompting her to delve into the history of the forgotten sheet music. In her investigation, she uncovered a dark tale woven around a composer consumed by an insatiable desire for power. This tormented artist had infused the notes with the essence of his own tortured soul, transforming what was once a tool for artistic expression into a malevolent force hungry to consume the emotions of those who dared to play it. As Anna delved deeper into the ominous narrative, a realization struck her: the danger she had unwittingly unleashed. Desperation and fear tightened their grip on Anna as she urgently sought a way to sever the music's malevolent influence. In a climactic confrontation, Anna stood face to face with the sinister force, her violin clashing against the unseen darkness. The final notes of their musical battle resonated through the air, and with an explosive surge of energy, the oppressive aura that had haunted the composition dissipated. The malevolent influence, driven by the tortured soul of the composer, was finally vanquished, leaving Anna standing amidst the echoes of the confrontation, her violin a symbol of triumph over the supernatural threat she had faced. In the aftermath, Anna was left with the haunting echoes of her journey. The forgotten sheet music, now deemed too dangerous, was locked away, hidden from the world. Anna, forever changed by the dark symphony, retreated from the spotlight, haunted by the knowledge that artistic power, when manipulated, could unleash a malevolence beyond imagination. The Lantern. In the quiet town of Ravenshadow, young Emily inherited an imposing grand house from her eccentric great-aunt. The mansion's vast basement harboured an assortment of forgotten relics, and one day, while exploring its dim recesses, Emily stumbled upon a small lantern tucked away in a far corner. The lantern, though unremarkable in appearance, exuded an inexplicable aura that drew Emily in. She placed it on an old, worn table, and as she did, a subtle glow began to come from within. Intrigued, Emily watched as the dim light flickered, casting eerie shadows across the basement walls. To her astonishment, the lantern's glow transformed into a familiar scene, her own bedroom. Emily's eyes widened as she recognized the details, the patterned wallpaper, the neatly made bed. It was as if a tiny window into her private space had opened up within the confines of the lantern. Unable to resist the enchantment, Emily continued to observe. The scene within the lantern shifted abruptly, now revealing the town of Ravenshadow bathed in the soft glow of twilight. The familiar landmarks unfolded before her eyes, the quaint houses, the winding streets, and the towering spire of the old church. A sense of wonder overcame Emily as the lantern's magic unfolded further. In rapid succession, she witnessed scenes from the local restaurant where she had her meals, the vibrant hubbub of the town square, and even the serene expanse of the nearby lake. Puzzled and enchanted, Emily wondered, "What is this?" as the lantern continued its mesmerizing display. As Emily stared into the lantern, it revealed more than mere scenes. It began to convey emotions, snippets of conversations, and fleeting moments that held significance in her daily existence. The lantern, it seemed, held a spectral resonance with the very fabric of her life. As Emily continued to gaze into the depths of the lantern, the boundary between the mystical scenes within and the tangible world around her began to blur. A supernatural energy pulsated from the lantern, and soon the enchantment inside it started to manifest in the basement. First, a tiny spectral horse materialized and galloped across the table, its ethereal hooves making no sound on the hard surface. Emily's eyes widened in amazement as she observed the apparition, its mane flowing like liquid moonlight. A moment later, a delicate bird soared gracefully from the lantern's confines, its feathers shimmering in iridescent hues. The bird circled the basement, its melodious song echoing through the dim space. Emily felt a strange connection with the creature as it danced through the air. Then, as if a breach between dimensions had been opened, a phantom ship emerged from the lantern, accompanied by the sound of lapping ocean waves. A cascade of water spilled forth, creating a surreal miniature sea within the basement. The ship sailed through the mystical waters, its sails billowing in the unseen wind. Emily stood in awe as the basement transformed into a dreamscape, a fusion of the mundane and the magical. The lantern had become a portal, bridging the gap between her reality and the fantastical realms it held within. Curiosity and wonder mingled with trepidation as Emily considered the implications of this newfound power. The once inert lantern had become a vessel for the extraordinary, an instrument that allowed the ephemeral to manifest in the tangible world. With each manifestation, the lantern's glow intensified, casting a radiance that transformed the basement into a surreal canvas of wonders. Emily hesitated, grappling with the decision of whether to embrace this mystical convergence or close the door to the extraordinary. The basement, once a storage space for forgotten relics, had become a sanctuary of the supernatural. Emily stood at the crossroads of two worlds, the lantern pulsating with the energy of endless possibilities. What lay ahead, she pondered, as the mystical tableau within the lantern continued to unfold its secrets.